There was these two young cats by the name of CJ and Jamal. They was from the west side of Columbus, Ohio. There's a section in that part of town called Hilltop, not too far from the casino. You see, CJ and Jamal was like brothers. They grew up across the street from each other, and they shared a similar parenting background, where both of their parents were strung out on that powder and that rock. Before I go on with this tall tale of unfortunate events, let me get this straightened out. Everybody that lives in the bottoms and hilltop are not dope fiends. There are a lot of good people that's out there that just do not have the proper resources to get out of poverty. And on the real, just because you are a slave to that powder or that rock, that does not make you a bad person. You're just a person that made bad mistakes. You see, we all have our own vices. Some might look worse than others, but it's all the same thing. Sin is sin. Let's stop passing judgment on the next man and woman. One day, CJ was like, yo, Jamal, let's go to the casino and hit a lick. For the uninitiated people, a lick is a means to obtain things that are not yours either by force or trickery, such as breaking into homes, cars, and stealing things, and the list can go on and on. So Jamal was like, okay, bet. So they started walking towards the casino. It had to be around 8 p.m. when they got up there. They hid behind a couple cars, waiting for a unsuspected casino-going patriot to pull up so they can hit that lick. After about 22 minutes of waiting, a guy pulled up and they held him up with an ice pick. CJ held the ice pick to the guy while Jamal was going through his pocket. After the quick shakedown, they both took off in opposite directions. A short time later, they met up at the local 7-Eleven on Broad Street. They got about $400 out my man from the casino, so they divided up the cash and went on about their way. It was about 9:15 p.m. when they spotted this 2013 running Impala with nobody inside of it. So they hopped in the car and they drove off. The car that they just stole was a Russian mob, guns, smugglers, transport car. You see, the mule was in the house discussing payment, while the hammers were still in the trunk. So they just riding around Columbus, not knowing that there's a GPS navigation system that's tracking their every move. The mob know exactly where they at, street by street, turn by turn. So they end up going to some of their friends' houses, letting them know that they got the whip. Again, for the uninitiated, the whip is the car. Now, this was a school night, so naturally, their friends was declining because this was a school night. Oh, forgive me, y'all. I forgot to mention that CJ and Jamal are kids. They're teenagers. CJ is 14 and Jamal is 15. Not soon after, maybe 30 minutes ago by, when a blacked out Suburban pulls up, chops the whole car, and sits behind the corner store on the north side of Columbus, off of Cleveland Ave. The news reported that it was over 200 bullet holes that went through that car, and that one of the victims' face was so lacerated that they couldn't get a positive ID on it. Kids and teens out there, hear me when I say joyriding can be a life and death situation. You don't know who car you jumping into. CJ and Jamal had no idea that this was going to be their fate the moment they woke up that morning. Taking the car is very dangerous. You can hurt innocent people and change the course of people's lives in a terrible way that your mind couldn't even comprehend. When their parents had to come identify them at the city morgue, the screams that came out of CJ's mother, all that hurt, all that pain. She was saying, no, not my baby, not my baby. See, Jamal's mama, when she showed up, she was out of her mind. And y'all know why. Because she was a slave to that you know what. So she went in there, she seen Jamal, she shed a couple of tears, but she needed to get back and get back to it. Kids and teens, again, let this right here serve as a warning. Stop jumping into people's cars, joyride. CJ mom couldn't afford to bury him, so she had to get him cremated. Jamal mama was so strung out on that you-know-what that a lot of time passed when she didn't claim the body, so the city had to bury him in an unmarked grave. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio, that's 614. For the people that was wondering, am I from there? No, I am not. I lived there for a couple of years off of Morris Road and Kings Highland Drive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm out.